Shut up and sit down.
And now, streaming live from the sunny Southern California coast, this is Options Uncensored.
Hey everybody, I'm Steve. Welcome to Options Uncensored. We're making real options trades in real time together. Let's get right into it. First things first, make sure you have your brokerage account open so you can follow along. Make sure you have your YouTube video quality set as high as possible. It helps you read the numbers a whole lot easier. Have a calculator ready so we can do some easy math. And finally, remember, this is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. All right, let's look at our open positions. First, JP Morgan. This one is moving in our direction very well. Trying to get an 8% return on this one. We opened a couple days ago. I didn't think this was going to happen so fast, but we're trying to get to 40. Right now, the mark is at 50, so we're up here $30, okay? Good. SPY, we have our put spread. We're green today, but I know the SPY has kind of moved down a bit here. So we've got till December expiration on both of these two, so no worries. Next, let's move into our November expiration positions. We've got gold, where our position is moving in our direction today, but we're still down a bit, $72. That's fine. We've got some time here. Macy's, we've got earnings that we're waiting for, but it's definitely moved in our favor. If this doesn't close before earnings, we may just close it the day before earnings because this is not a put spread. This is just a cash secured put. And then finally, Roku, we're probably going to have to hold this one through earnings just because we're down. And if earnings go in our favor, that's great. And if they don't go in our favor, we'll have to roll out, roll down, or roll out and down. All right? So there's our 5 positions that are open. Let's see if we can find something new to open today. We got some earnings that we need to go through, plus some other fun ones as well. First up, Amazon, AMZN. This is post earnings, up today 7.5%. Here's our chart. So we don't have to worry about earnings. We're looking at December expiration, okay? 49 days till expiration. On the call side, if you sold the 145 and bought the 150, let's get our calculators out. That's 122 minus 63. Divide that by 2 and divide that by 500. Hold on, I messed it up. 122 minus 63. Divide that by 2. Divide that by 500. 5.8% if you sold the call side. That's not bad, considering we're post earnings now. On the put side, you'd have to sell the 110. It's kind of far out. The 115 is too close for me, but the 110, if you sold the 110 and bought the 105, let's see what you get. 101 minus 60. Divide that by 2 and divide that by 500. Only 4.1%. So if you want to trade Amazon, you'd want to trade the call side. Good liquidity here too. Where's 145 on the chart? 145 is all the way up here. That seems fair. All right, I'll make a note of that, and we'll come back. Enphase is next, ENPH. We've traded this one before. It's a lot of fun. It moved big today. I think this is post earnings. Yes. So earnings are today. Let's zoom in here out of the chart. We're all the way down here. It could catch a bounce anywhere between now and 63, so that's a lot. On the put side, not terribly liquid here. Actually, it's not bad. Liquidity is okay. If you sold the 60 and bought the 55, what do we get? 93 minus 50. Divide that by 2 and divide that by 500. 4.3. Not worth it on the put side. On the call side, if you sold the 100 and bought the 105, that's 159 minus 102. Divide that by 2. Divide that by 500. 5.7% on the call side, all right? Let's take a look at 100 on the chart. 100 on the chart is right about here, pretty much where it was right before earnings. I don't know. I still think Amazon is a better deal here. Let's move on to the next one. Intel INTC. This is post earnings. Had a big move up. I've traded Intel a bunch both before and after earnings. On the put side, if you sold the 31 and bought the 26, so what do you get? 39 minus 7. Divide that by 2. Divide that by 500. 3.2%. Skip the put side. On the call side, if you sold the 41 and bought the 46, 37 minus 7. Divide that by 2 and divide that by 500. 3%. So both the call and the put side are not worth it for Intel. Even though we had this big move up, a lot of this stuff is already priced into the options. Sanofi is next, SNY. Down 17%. Doesn't look like this one's very liquid either. So we're going to skip this one right away. You see how these spreads here, 20 cents, 60 cents. You're not going to be able to get filled. And if you do, it's going to be hard to get in, hard to get out. And if you need to roll, it's going to be really hard to roll. So we'll skip Sanofi. Next, Chevron. We'll look at both Chevron and ExxonMobil. These are both earnings plays as well. Here's Chevron's chart. I've got this big trend line drawn here. It looks like it's broken down past that. Could catch a bounce around 143. Between 140 and 143. Maybe. Let's look at the put side on Chevron. We'd have to sell the 130 and buy the 125. That's 108 minus 62. Divide that by 2. Divide that by 500. 4.6 on the put side. On the call side, if you sold the 160 and bought the 165, that's 92 minus 44 divided by 2 divided by 500. 4.8% on the call side. That's not great on either one. I'm looking for something higher than those. Let's look at ExxonMobil then. XOM. Down a little bit post earnings. Here's a chart for Exxon. Looks like it's doing better than Chevron. Could get a bounce here. Could keep moving down to like 101, 102. Who knows? On the put side, if you sold puts, sell the 95 and buy the 90. Very liquid too. Look at these spreads. This is great. 102 minus 49 divided by 2 and divided by 500. 5.3% if you sold the put side on ExxonMobil. That's like the bare minimum we're looking for. On the call side, I'd skip the call side. The 115 is too close and the 120 is too far out. You're not going to get paid for it. So I'll make a note on ExxonMobil. Next is AbbVie, ABBV. Is this earnings? 27. Yes, this was this morning's earnings report. Okay. Here's the chart. Interesting. Let's look at the options on the put side. Liquidity is not the best here. Plus the 130 is too close, the 125 is too far out. On the call side, same thing. The 150 is too close and the 155 is too far out. Plus you got a 10-point spread here, an 11-point spread here. That's gonna be a 21-point spread on this on a call spread there. So too far out. Let's move on to Ford. I don't think we're gonna have anything to do with Ford. It is post earnings, but it's such a small stock. It's a $10 stock. It's hard to make these trades with such small stocks. It's gonna keep moving down. We're gonna skip this one. Let's move on. Charter. Is this earnings? Yes, so Charter had earnings this morning. Moving down 5.5%. It's already bounced back a lot. That makes sense too. Let's see what we got. Not liquid at all. There's zero volume here on the put side. A little bit of volume on the call side. But you got a 90-cent spread here on the 440. We're going to skip this one. FMC. I don't know why this one's on the list. What happened today? I don't know. Let's skip this one. COF is next. Capital One. Post earnings up 10%. Same thing, we got liquidity issues. We got a 15-cent spread on the 110. On the put side, we'll have the same thing. We'd want to sell the 85. You got a 15-cent spread here on the 85 to a liquid. Even though we've got some volume, got some open interest. Not going to do it. Too much hassle. Hess, down 5%. We're already past earnings. Maybe this is day 2, day 3 after earnings. Yeah, day 3 after earnings. So this move down before earnings, we had move down after earnings. Could catch a bounce here at 144, 143.5. And look at this, JP Morgan's at $35 already. This may get filled during the show today. Didn't see that one coming. All right, on the put side for Hess, illiquid. You'd want to sell the 130, and you've got a 25-cent spread here. Not worth it. Let's check in on UPS and FedEx from yesterday. I know UPS moved down a bunch yesterday. Post earnings. Probably missed this one. You would have wanted to sell the put spread yesterday, not today. If you sold the 125 and bought the 120, $120 minus 66, divide that by 2, divide that by 500, 5.4%. I think we missed this move. You should have done this yesterday. Let's look at FedEx. Earnings for FedEx are December 19th, so we got over a month. Here's our chart. Moved down, moved up a bit today. You keep moving down though. We'll keep FedEx on the list to check in on Monday, but we'll take UPS off. All right. Take a quick look at the bond market, TLT. Kind of hanging out here. It's probably going to keep moving down. Let's look at the call side. You sold the 91 and bought the 95. That's 70 minus 31. Divide that by 2 and divide that by 400. 4.8% return. Risking $400 on a bond market ETF. Where's 91 on the chart? 91's all the way up here. That seems fair. I'm going to stick to something else though. Google. Oops. Okay, down now the third day after earnings. Should be catching a bounce soon as it gets closer to the 200-day moving average, and we're coming up to the support here around 120 or so. Let's see what the put side is. If you sold the 110 and bought the 105. 133 minus 75 divided by 2 divided by 500. Almost 6% there. Interesting. On the call side, I wouldn't want to sell the call side, but if you want to, 121. Sell the 135 and buy the 140. It's 121 minus 58 divided by 2 divided by 500. 6.3% there. We'll make a note on Google on the put side. Microsoft MSFT. This is post earnings. 2 days now, maybe? No, 3 days. I don't want to do anything here. You should have sold the call spread the day after earnings. I didn't, but I know we looked at it. Let's move on. We're going to take Microsoft off the list. Tesla. Had this move down after earnings, and it's still continued down here. What are we, like a week or so after earnings? It's kind of in no man's land. I said this yesterday, I believe. We're just hanging out in no man's land. I'd rather wait for it to move down and then open a put spread, or move up and then open a call spread. We'll keep an eye on it. Meta. I think we missed this one. Yesterday, you would have wanted to open a put spread. Would have closed today. Maybe not, but it's definitely up today. Almost 3%. I don't want to do anything here with Meta. We're going to take Meta off the list. Let's check in with Boeing. Nothing. We're going to take Boeing off the list. Let's look at KWEB, the China Internet ETF, KWEB. All right. I think we're waiting for it to move up to around 28.5, 29-ish. And then open a call spread. Yeah. I've traded this one before. It's got great liquidity. All right, that's it for that list. Why don't we go to our IV rank scanner, and we'll sort by volume. SPY still has heightened volatility. Some of it sucked out. It was at 71 yesterday, so let's look at it now. It's now 63. I've got my put spread open. I'd sell puts here. For December expiration, here are my strikes, the 393 and the 388. If I'd open something today, I'd sell the 386 and buy the 381. Let's do the math on that one. 346 minus 284. Divide that by 2 and divide that by 500, 6.2% if you sold the put spread here. Wonder if you get paid more on the call side. If you sold the 440 and bought the 445. That's 162 minus 96. Divide that by 2 and divide that by 500. 6.6% if you sold the call side. I'd rather sell the put side. JP Morgan, we're almost there. Let's take a look at JP Morgan really quick. It must be down a lot today. Down 3%. So what do? We opened up somewhere around here. We sold, let's get the exact date for you. On the 25th, October 25th, that's right here. On this day, we sold a call spread. It's moved down the past, well, it moved up a little bit yesterday, but it's down big today. We're trying to make $40 from a $500 spread. That's an 8% return. That's cuckoo. Back to the list. NVIDIA, they have earnings on the 21st. That's about, 3 or so weeks away. Intel, we already looked at. Apple has earnings next week. We'll follow up after earnings. Google, we looked at. Meta, we looked at. HYG. Ford, we checked out. Microsoft, we checked out. AMD has earnings on Halloween. We'll follow up afterwards. Enphase, we already checked out. Square has earnings on the 2nd. Chevron, we checked out. Bank of America, even though we're post-earnings, still has heightened volatility. Same thing with it. That's why we traded JP Morgan. I like JP Morgan better just because Bank of America is a $25 stock. You're not going to be able to get as much return as you would JP Morgan. That's why we did JP Morgan. ExxonMobil, we already checked that one out. The TLT as well. Uber has earnings on the 7th. We'll skip that one. We'll come back afterwards. JP Morgan. Like I said, we've got our position open in JP Morgan. 60% still IV rank for the 30-day IV rank. Let's check that one out. We looked at it already just now, but if you want to open something, I wouldn't sell the call spread anymore. I would sell a put spread. Actually, if this call spread does get filled today, it could open up a put spread. Let's check out the call side. Sorry, the put side. So here's my call spread that's open. On the put side, it's close, but if you sold the 125 and bought the 120, that's 144 minus 89 divided by 2 and divided by 500, 5.5%. That's okay. I mean, 5% is the bare minimum I'm looking at. The spread that we have open, we're trying to make 8%. That's way better. Back to the list. GM. No. SoFi, ChargePoint, too small. Coinbase has earnings on the 2nd. That one should be fun. PayPal, earnings. Disney, earnings. Oil ETF, Shopify has earnings. Rivian has earnings. I know we were in a Rivian trade a couple weeks ago. That one was easy. The XBI, Silver, XLE. Let's check out the XLE. We just closed an XOP trade yesterday. XLE could get a bounce here. Let's check the put side on XLE. Liquid, that's for sure. If you sold the 77 and bought the 72. 72 minus 27, divide that by 2 and divide that by 500, only 4.2%, sorry, 4.5% return. That one's not so good. On the call side, if you sold the 93 and bought the 98, that's 80 minus 28, divide that by 2 and divide that by 500, 5.2% on an energy ETF. So is that great? Not really. 5%, it is what it is. Next page. Riot, Boeing we looked at. Actually, we took Boeing off the list. Pfizer has earnings on Halloween. Nextera. That one is still heightened. Let's see what's going on with Nextera. NEE. So we had earnings. We have this move up continuing after earnings. To a liquid. We'll skip this one. Let's go back to Amazon, AMZN. See if we can open something here. Here's our chart. We're looking at the call side, maybe. Or XOM, was it? Let's look at the put side on ExxonMobil. If we sold the 95 and bought the 90, that's 105 minus 51. Divide that by 2, divide that by 500, 5.4%. Where's 95 on the chart? 95's all the way down here. That seems fair. And it says post earnings too. Earnings were today before the open. $95, right here. Okay, I think I'll open this one. We'll sell the 95 and buy the 90, December expiration, okay? So we'll go here to verticals. This is a put vertical, $5 is the width. 95.90 is right here. So let's fill out our ticket. We're gonna buy one December expiration of the 90 strike put. We're gonna sell one December expiration of the 95 put. Limit credit, we're gonna ask for 59, okay? We'll preview this. We'll check our ticket. Buy one 90 put to open. Sell one 95 put to open. We'll receive a credit of $59. Okay. We'll send that out. We'll hang out here. If this one gets filled, we'll set a buy to close order at $29. Good till canceled limit. Okay. That'll be it for today. Let's see, anything else? I think that'll do it for today. All right, another great week. Happy Friday, everybody. Make sure you tune in every day, Monday through Friday, that the trading market's open. 7:15 a.m. on the West Coast, 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast. We'll trade options together. Subscribe, like, you'll get alerts from when we go live every morning. Tell your friends who are trading options to tune in as well. We can all trade options and learn together. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning.